What does it mean to be a Titan? As a Titan, you are a part of the city in a way no warlock or hunter could understand. The dream of the city rests upon our shoulders. Then there are those that find a path outside our walls. Those that take up with leaders they barely understand. So it has ever been with the Sunbreakers. The Hammer of Soul is a flame in the darkness, but fire burns without thought.
And so that fire was nerfed to keep the crybabies happy throughout the long fight. Did he just go there? Yes, I totally just went there. Once upon a time, Sunbreakers were the stuff of nightmares. You heard the dreaded swing, and you were out of there. Now, not so much. I personally don't use my Sunbreaker as much anymore, but when I do, it's with the understanding that I can get picked off pretty easily. I used to average about 4 to 5 kills per super. Now, I'll be lucky if I get 3. They've been robbed of their unstoppability. Is that a word? I don't know. It should be. Anywho, here is my current Sunbreaker build. As per usual, I won't go over every possible combination of talents on the skill tree, simply the ones I've been using. So, without further ado, number 1, incendiary grenades mostly, and fusion grenades when I'm feeling extra trolly. Incendiary grenades can be a one-hit kill if detonated close to your target's feet, and will detonate a few milliseconds after touchdown. It's a good habit to bounce these in front of your targets so that you can deal maximal damage before they have a chance to escape. Fusion grenades are one-stick kills, duh. I imagine if these grenades could speak, they would say tee-hee a lot, like an annoying number of times. If you're feeling super trolly with a hint of scummy, I recommend running a max discipline build with fusion grenades, the exotic chest piece, Armamentarium, and the perk Simmering Flames on the last column. While the last perk will require you hold on to your super, once you've got it, it will recharge your grenades and melees extremely fast. With Armamentarium, you'd be recharging your grenades about every 12 seconds. You're welcome, / I'm sorry. And you can thank me / curse me later for that one. Number 2, Hammer of Soul and Sun Charged. During the second Golden Age, Forge Master was by far my favorite perk for the Hammer of Soul. It granted you 2 extra hammers where you would normally only have 5, back when the sound of a hammer caused mass hysteria and panic. Since the last major nerf, however, people no longer scatter like they used to. They challenge, and I've recently opted to using Sun Charge because of this. It takes a little getting used to, but it is severely rewarding when you land that hit. Especially since you'll be moving so fast that most people won't even realize you're up in their face already. Coupling this perk with the exotic Twilight Garrison will make it very hard for anyone to get away. Number 3, Sunstrike with Thermal Vent. Possibly the best option for PvP, as it will grant you the possibility of a one-hit kill on opponents with minimal armor. There is also the added bonus of creating a sunspot on each kill. I normally run an intellect discipline build on my Titan, as I find little opportunity to use melees in PvP. And when I do, it's so infrequent that my melee is almost always charged. A lesser used perk in this column is Stoke the Forge. If you run a max intellect discipline build, having this perk equipped can allow you to max out your strength without having any strength endowing armor. Now, while that may sound interesting, without a perk that grants you an overshield or some other defense that deals feedback damage, I don't see how having max strength on your Titan could be a worthwhile strategy. I say this because, well, if you happen to get into a fist fight with a Warlock, you've already lost, courtesy of some Warlock melee cheese. If you happen to get into it with a Hunter, you'll probably get stopped in your tracks with a smoke bomb, skewered by a knife from downrange, or backstabbed aka front stabbed, half the time. So, in the words of the great Christopher Walken, no thanks already, I'll stick to Thermal Vent. Number 4, Explosive Pyre. Why? Because chain reactions, that's why. This functions in the same way as Bloom does on the Voidwalker subclass, and used to reward a lucky shot more frequently than you'd think. It did take a good hit with the last major patch, however. I originally ran my Sunbreaker with the exotic gauntlets Immolation Fists, which granted this perk for free, so that I could use Flameseeker in the skill tree. Flameseeker grants slight tracking on your Hammer of Soul. While this tracking rarely kicks in when hammers are thrown at targets directly in your line of sight, I have gotten quite a few airstrike kills with this perk. It's almost as if they work greater over larger distances. Kind of like when you're bending it like Beckham. The ball curves further as it moves further from you, or Beckham. Now, that was a broken analogy, and if you don't mind, go ahead, fix it, and then understand it. See? Perfect sense. Told you. Number 5. Cauterize. Perhaps the saddest day in Titanic history was the day Cauterize got nerfed. It used to be the functional equivalent of Hungering Blade on the Blade Dancer subclass, but now it takes about 3 seconds to kick in, and is more of a deterrent to aggressive pushes than anything. Personally, I think the armor reduction Titans received on that last major patch would have been enough, but I don't make the rules, Bungie does. I just enjoy them while they're broken. The perk Firekeeper in this column I rarely use because, well, the last thing on a Titan's mind when Hammer of Sol has been activated is to stand still. That is essentially what you would have to do to effectively use this perk, or keep jumping from sunspot to sunspot, like everywhere else was lava. So, I try not to. And that pretty much sums up my current build. I'll say this though, of all the subclass related nerfs I've seen, I think Sunbreakers took the biggest hit. I wonder if one day we'll see a reversal of some of these nerfs, especially the Cauterize nerf. I get it that the perk was ridiculous when Titans tanked straight headshots from the most powerful snipers, or when hammers caused massive explosions and tracked like flying monkeys. But geez, Bungie, there should be a fair trade-off between how lethal a subclass is and how durable you are while you're in your super. But what do I know? What do you guys and girls think? Do you think Bungie did right by Sunbreakers? Type your brain thoughts below. I'll have a highlight reel featuring this build and some older ones coming this week, so stay tuned to the Twitter feed for that. Until then, God bless and deuces!